Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Truth. It's your girl, Naya Angel, here with my co host, PAT and Mr. E Man. What's up, fellas?
What up?
What's going on?
All right, so we have a very, very good episode coming up this week. We are speaking on some very popular subjects right now in the Black community. Before we dive in, I wanted to go ahead and take the opportunity to wrap up a subject that we were speaking on in the last session, which was Farrakhan. And E-Man made a comment about him being a coon. So we're going to let him, speak and touch on that. And before we do, I know you had some thoughts on that as well, PAT. So let's hear what you got.
All right. So I have a brief disclaimer. So I'll just start off by saying, for the record, I believe everyone here on this podcast is pro-Black.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if anyone isn't, then they can correct me if I'm wrong and say otherwise. I'll speak for myself and say that I am pro-Black. However, I understand that the term pro-Black is not monolithic and can mean different things to different people. This podcast that you, the audience, is listening to is a culmination of different personalities with different perspectives and outlooks on a variety of things. While we might agree on a lot of topics, we will have disagreements. We will be touching on Minister Louis Farrakhan. While I've never met the minister and don't know him personally, I will say that I like the minister based on his Black advocacy. I understand that he is highly valued in the Black community. Now, I know that he is not perfect, and many people see him as problematic or controversial, and maybe might know certain things about him that I don't know. What I say to that is, whatever information is out there that people know, I personally need to see receipts. Opinions are one thing, but I need facts. And I'm just speaking for myself. I need facts. I'm not going to simply stop supporting someone just based off opinions. If I were to stop supporting anyone, it would be based on factual information. I need to see facts before coming to any definitive conclusions on anything or anyone. With all of this being said, some of us like Farrakhan and some of us don't like him. Whatever you hear from one person on his podcast is not a reflection of the entire podcast. So just wanted to put that out there, put that brief disclaimer out there, or maybe not so brief, before we touch on Minister Farrakhan. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up the floor to my man E-Man.
So thank you guys, I really appreciate, that, respectful disclaimer. You know,
Absolutely.
so, first episode, I called, the minister a coon and whatnot. Now, I've never met the man, but I'll tell everyone, for me, I've been supportive to a lot of Black leaders. All right. And what I mean by that, like, there's a lot of leaders that I read, listen to, follow every single day, because from not just me being, as an indigenous person, because I don't like to use the word Black because it's a color, I always call myself indigenous because I am indigenous to this land. All right. There's a lot of things that I would tell people that and what I mean by that, when I see something that just doesn't make sense or doesn't even look right, it bothers me because, like, I've told several people this daily, you are what you are of who you is. And what I mean by that is, if you choose to be this and this is what you're putting out there, that is you, you know. Mm. That means once you support yourself towards everything you do. You know, you must agree to everything you've done right. You must agree to everything you've done wrong. And I tell everyone that is who I am every day, you know, because nobody's perfect. So I know what is righteous. I know what is non-righteous. I know the righteous things I've done, and I know the non-righteous things that I've done, you know. Looking at the minister and whatnot, this is the same guy who also was around Malcolm X, who also breathed the same thing, that the white man was the devil. That was something that he took on years and years. All right. All right. There was, all right. All right. There was, and we're going to leave the link down below. All right. You know, I don't own rights to the video, but I want to thank Crumb TV, all right, for cutting this clip. All right. Because I feel like YouTube has moved this video from, because of the incident that has to deal with the minister and whatnot. All right. So, you know, I don't own rights to the video that we're going to leave at the link, but thanks to Crumb TV that they actually cut whatever of this, you know, sermon that he had. But if you watch the video, it's not that long because they is basically around the introduction. All right. There is, you know, a European fellow, because I don't like to use the word white, all right, who is introducing the minister. All right. As he's introducing him and whatnot, the minister stands up and whatnot, and they exchange, like they are looking like they're kissing each other and whatnot. If you zoom in and you stop the video, it is basically they're kissing cheek to cheek, almost close to the lip and whatnot. All right. This is the same man has always said the white man was the devil, you know, and the white man, you know, is the problem in towards our community. The minister has also said basically, and the reason why he's not on social media is because the same thing about the whole Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, or what he said in that sermon that got him off and banned off social media. But if that man who called Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, you know, very evil people, that they don't have the right to force a vaccine on us as people, my question is, why would the minister be with a man who has, you know, that he has gotten close, very close to almost kissing him and whatnot, close to the lips, almost, it's so close to the point that he's about almost like an inch away from his lips and whatnot. Right? And this same man that's on there on the video towards who he kissed, all right, there is a photo, and I don't think it's no longer on Google, where the same sermon, you know, that he talked about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, all right, they were almost as close to each other in that same thing, all right. I will do my due diligence to find that photo and whatnot, but this is the reason why I have not issues with any of our black leaders. It's the simple fact is, you know, you're playing this devil, I would say you're playing this role per se, you know, that you're on one side, then you want to be on the other side, that you're for us, but you're not really with us, you know? So I feel like everything from the minister is always picking and choosing and whatnot, you know? And I told people I'm not a Muslim, you know, of faith, but towards the minister that he is, you know? And I actually watched another sermon about him a few years ago, you know, which he said, you know, he was also of Christian faith, but he also uses the Christian Bible and the Quran also too, you know. So now, you know, for someone who has told me he was Muslim for years, is now, in my eyes, has a disposition on his own religion towards what he wants to call himself. And this is why I've been having an issue with the minister and whatnot, you know. But these are my opinions. And I tell people, many people's opinions don't matter, but these are my opinions, you know. And this is somebody I used to support and I no longer support because I know he's not for us. All right.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, again, fellas, as we were, discussing previously on the last episode, I can't say that I have too much to speak on this topic, because I have not followed it closely. I do not know all the details associated with it. What I can say is that I know that for many, many years, I too found Farrakhan to be an icon for the Black community that was upstanding. I would say that I did learn of a lot of alleged actions by him that did not sit well with me, that definitely seemed to go against his principles, or at least what I understood to be his principles. But from that same aspect, for me, it's a matter of keeping in mind that these are human beings we're speaking of.
Right, right,
These are
exactly.
not, we tend to individually enact these people as some type of deity in our life, and the reality of it is these are human beings. And so because I do not have enough detail or info on the topic, because I do not have a thorough enough knowledge base as far as Farrakhan in general, right? Again, I can't say that I'm a follower. I'm not a member of the Muslim nation. I am not a specific or general follower of Farrakhan. But because I do not have all the facts, I will say that for me, I cannot comfortably call him a coon. And that's just answering the specific topic. Now, that is not to say that once certain behaviors are displayed that I will ignore them, because I won't. It doesn't matter if it's Farrakhan or anyone else. If you are displaying a certain level of morality, or you are trying to put across to our community a certain level of morality, but your actions 100% speak against that, I will call you out on it. But in this particular case, I just don't have enough knowledge to comfortably make the statement that Farrakhan is a coon. Those are my thoughts on it.
And that was really good. That was, oh, that was really good. There's nothing much that I could add to that. I agree. I agree 100% with what you just said. I know I'm not gonna call him a coon. Basically, I've already said this before. I like his Black advocacy. I see him as a Black leader, and I see him as a Black leader because he is not dependent on the white establishment. Because as I said in the previous episode, any Black, so-called Black leader who is basically attached to the white establishment, they're not a Black leader. They're a Black spokesperson. So that's my opinion on so-called quote unquote Black leaders, and I'm doing the quote unquote fingers. Farrakhan isn't that. Farrakhan obviously is not a perfect human being. There is no perfect human being. So I could acknowledge that there are things about him that we've heard or have seen that, yeah, could be problematic. Me personally, I'm not a follower. I don't worship anybody. I don't idolize anybody. If there are things about Farrakhan that I know or have seen that I do see as problematic, I have no problem saying it. So I'm not just gonna be this blind follower who just worships the man. It's not even like that. I like his Black advocacy when he does his motivational speaking. As a Black man listening, it does something for me specifically as a Black man who is moving in this world and trying to establish my own Black manhood. And stand on my own too as a Black man. So that's pretty much how I look at it all. But of course, as we all know, Louis Farrakhan he's a controversial figure. So there's going to be many things about him. So I'll just sum it up like that.
That is one. I would say it's the best way to sum it up.
Mm-hmm.
I already said my piece, but I would say it's the best way to sum it up. And I just want to leave it as there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just let everyone know. There's a lot of things that I've done, listened, research, and listened to a lot of people's lectures, and my goal is hopefully to obtain many of that information and try to share it with everybody, because and I and just going back what PAT said, towards his disclaimer, I'm not here to be picking on nobody. That's not my job and everything. I don't get paid to pick on people and whatnot. What I care about, and I tell everyone this, I care about people, and I want more peace in this world so we can all be better people. All right. And that's been my goal since day one. All right. So I just want to put that out there so we can move on the next juicy topic we got going on for today.
Yes, sir. Absolutely fair. All righty, gentlemen. Thank you. Great wrap up to that topic we touched on in our last session.